What do you sense?
The halls of judgment.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
So as I was rising above the water, I was greeted by the blue being yesterday. And it was Jesus. And there was blue light all around him. And now he's taking me into the halls of judgment. And there's so many rooms here. So much discussion going on. Big, big tables. Lots and lots of books. And there's a lot of coming and going. It's like what you would imagine the United Nations to be like. Lots of dignitaries arriving.
Mm-hmm. What do they look like, these dignitaries?
Like something out of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe some for me?
Well, one's just come past me. They've got a very, very big, how do I even describe the head? It's like a wasp.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a very, very big, bulbous head at the back. So round and then coming longer and longer and then in tiny little ears and eyes that come out on stalks. So the eye can move up and down.
Yes.
Backwards and forwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got its neck looks like a vertebra. So if you had to have a human vertebra, you know, the bones without the flesh.
Yes.
The neck is in sort of, like lots of little vertebra put together, and it's all black vertebra, and its head's all grey, and you can see the veins under the skin. It's almost translucent. It's a very different looking creature.
How tall is it?
Very tall.
Mm-hmm. And what about the rest of the body? Is it a humanoid body or an insectoid body?
It's insectoid.
Mm-hmm.
It's insect.
And are they dressed in any way, or do they have just a insectoid body?
This one's got a cloak on it.
Yes.
Covered right down to the ground. And it seems to more like float than walk. And then to my right in the passage, I can see some, they call them the Nordics.
Yes.
Very, very blonde, very pale skin, beautiful eyes. And they just going to where they need to be going to. They're going to a meeting in the Great Temple.
Yes. What do you look like? Look down at your body.
That's weird. I look like sort of almost made out of stone.
Tell me more about that.
If you got a really big rock and you dropped it and it shattered into 1,000 pieces and you had to put it all together with glue. That's what my body looks like.
Mm-hmm. Does it have like a humanoid shape, or is it all over the place?
Yeah, like the Incredible Hulk, that kind of a shape. But very, very soft flowing eyes. I can cry tears. So I've got emotion, but I can shape into different form. It depends what I want to project. So today I'm here as strength for the galaxy. So that's why I'm showing the stone.
Yes.
Or I'm set in stone for my people. So they won't be able to budge me.
What are your people?
Earth.
So tell me more about this meeting that you're going to. This Hall of Judgement that you speak of, what does it look like?
She's seen it many times in her dreams when she thinks of the halls of learning.
Yes.
And many beings go to similar buildings when they pass over for their lessons. So it has many steps, the grand steps leading up to the entrance, big pillars of light, and then a deep recess. But it's a very solid structure like marble.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you've got crystalline chambers inside.
Yes. Where is this
And
place?
they're different lights.
Okay.
In the different rooms, depending on what energy you wish to transmute in a particular meeting. So if there's agitation from a particular galaxy and the embassies arrive, those ambassadors,
Yes.
and you need to calm them down, then there's a particular hue that is used.
Where is this building? Is it in a different dimension, or is it a physical place?
It's in a physical place. It's a central point where when you come through your hyperspace, through your wormholes, that they come in from all the different galaxies. So it's a meeting place that is central for all.
Mm-hmm. And when we started, you called it the Hall of Justice, or?
The Hall of Justice and the Halls of Judgement.
Mm-hmm. So why are we here today? What is this meeting all about?
I'm coming here to represent Earth and all the star-seeded lineage. And I've called in the counselors from all the different galaxies to find out how the plan's going. For there's great agitation on Earth.
Yes, there is.
And people are suffering. So I need to know that the plan is running smoothly, that the galactic soldiers are in place, that the ships are ready, that the landing platforms are smooth, that the way stations have their welcoming committees, and that the counselors are instructing the light army that are on Earth through their portals, through their rays of color, that they are receiving the transmissions correctly at this given time. For it is like a family tree, Alba.
Yes.
It trickles all the way down, all the different platforms. There's much alignment that needs to take place. For as this one was putting the feelings council into place, as a small example, as she put up For I Am Universe as a Facebook page, as we arranged the Peru trip through Antonio, to get the family together again, as we aligned you with this one, as we aligned Tabash with you, and all your teachings, Alba, and all your channels, and the group of these scenes coming together again, and the different energies that are distributed throughout your earth plane, your different pockets of color, your bandwidths. There is much that needs to be aligned. And there are those who are contracted through their star-seeded lineage from the various galaxies and the planet systems that came for a particular mission, and they have a use-by date. This one had a conversation with you just before you started this morning, and she said, I will go when I'm done.
Yes.
When she's come to do what it is that she's come to do, then it'll be her use by date. As it is with all earthlings that have been here from time immemorial. Everybody has a use by date, and yet they fear the unknown. So today, my job is to show strength in the chamber for the earthlings, for my star-seeded lineage. For I have been on all the galaxies, on all the color rays. And that is why I have the white that holds them all in place. And that is why they chose this one, for the strength, for all the color rays, for all the fractals and all the fractions. So I am at the council today to make sure that there are what you term no glitches. Everything is in place. The energy is on its way. There will be great upliftment. And although many will be unsettled, there will be a great settling and a great rejoicing, for they will have accomplished their missions.
Well, they know that they've accomplished their missions when it happens.
There will be no doubt. As this one is now being shown, the end of the Second World War, and all the avenues and all the streets with the people cheering and the flags fluttering. Did they not know that the war was over?
Yes.
There was a great rejoicing, and so it shall be again. For this has been the great duality. This has played out for a very long time. You know, Alba, when we take you back to the Egyptian times, which was the true age of enlightenment, and what has happened between that time and this time, many, many earth years have passed. And what happened to the knowledge? Why was the knowledge suppressed? But those Egyptians those powerful ones, live amongst you now with that knowledge, with that light, with that great, great power. And so many will be empowered once again to remember who they are, beings of great light, but yet they weigh themselves down with human worries. This is not a time for worry. This is a time to get to work, to clear your minds and to clear your cupboards. We speak and we speak and we speak, yet you hear us not. What more is it that we need to say? You are crystalline of structure. What you are as an earthling is your overcoat. Take your overcoat off to remember who you are. Fear not. This has been predicted for eons. It is time. It is the time of the crossing. It is time to cross over. It is time to let the light in. And that is why we termed it the golden era. For you have been yoked and enslaved for hundreds of years. And now is the time for the yoke to be removed. But nobody can do it for you. You have to do the removing. It is like this one was recently working with a young man, trying to uplift him and show him a different way. And she said to him, "You've got a hammer and a nail, and you have put the nail in your foot and you've hammered it in securely. And you're running around in circles saying, I can't go anywhere, I can't go anywhere. And yet you were the one that put the nail in your own foot. And because you put it in your own foot, you can remove it and move freely." And so we say, once again, that these humans who have enslaved themselves through the programming and have the yoke around their necks, the burden on their shoulders through the programming, can break the programming. But it is so deeply entrenched and embedded in their systems and their psyche that what will they do if they turn off the blue box? Then they have to look at each other for entertainment and conversation. And what will they converse about? Will they continue to converse about the exterior? At what stage and at what age will they be when they start talking and discussing about the interior of who they truly are? But this exterior cloak or coat called your human body gets paid so much attention, so much money is spent on it. But what is spent on the internal, on the thought process, on feeding one's soul one's light body. This is what those who say they are afraid need to look at. For we say they are spending too much on the exterior. If they knew their interior, they would not be asking the questions and they would not be holding the fear. So the fear for them is a barometer of what they need to now pay attention to.
Very good. I'd like to get back to the plan, because as you're going into that meeting, you say that everything is being prepared. Who came up with this plan, first of all?
The Commander-in-Chief and the Council of Archangels.
Mm-hmm. What was happening that they needed to do this? Is there anybody else?
And the disciples, who are the fractals of the archangels, and the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
For it is time for his return. And yet humans will deem this to be in a physical presence, yet he is sending his light from deep within the galaxy to humanity. We said this is a light that these humans have never experienced before. All will receive it equally, and so it will be a great leveler. For when this energy hits this planet, this earth plane, all will have eyes that can see. The scales will fall away and the light will intermingle with their energetic beings. They will radiate Christ-like light. There will be many changes. For when one sees differently, one cannot but change. For you had a human who said, if you keep on looking at things the same way, things will never change. Change the way you look at something, and then you will have change.
Mm-hmm.
Alba, we want to speak about matter and the field.
Okay.
When we speak about the field, we speak about energy that is there for you all, the photons and the photonic structures, and the light, the frequency, the vibration, and the color. So humans often have a feeling of lack when they want to have a feeling of abundance. And they say, give it to me, and then I will believe. I will believe in you. I will trust you, my guide. But I need it. I need the new car. I need to know where I'm going to live. I need to know who I'm going to marry. So this is what I'm asking for. Give it to me, and then there will be trust. And we always flip it because it is an emotion. So we say, feel it, for you are the creators. You were created in order to create. So what is it that you are creating? What is it that you wish to create? Because it is not the matter that makes the field, it is the field that creates the matter. So what is it that matters to you, to the listeners that are listening to this transmission? What really matters that you need to create and make it into matter? So be careful what it is that you wish for. For we in the field distribute equally. You had a human in your recent question answers on your platform stating not all are equal.
That's right.
There are many still that do not understand the energy, the form, the contracts, the wishes, the desires, the expansion and the contraction. All are equal. All are given free will to choose their environments, their earthly adventure, and all the other adventures. So if one chooses a particular lifestyle without an arm, poverty stricken, and yet another is a professor living in what you term an exquisite abode, and then the third person looks at them both and says, there's the professor in his exquisite abode, and here is this poor beggar in India with an arm missing and in dire poverty. It is impossible. We do not see them as equal, and yet, perhaps in the parallel life, the beggar is the professor and the professor is the beggar. So there's much for humanity to learn, but the great leveler will change people's perceptions. Much will rise to the surface. There will be the largest discourse in living history. Many voices will be heard. There will be what is termed a babbling in the streets. It is time for people to remember their voice boxes. It is time for their portals of light to express what resides within. It is a time for feeling, creating, energizing, upliftment, and rising above the situations that they have created, that they have chosen to experience in order for expansion to take place, because they are the cell, the tiny little organism in the all that is, made in the image of God. So, if they are that pulse of light that comes from source, some will be a short pulse, others will be a longer pulse. And yet, where will they go? They go back to the all that is, all the different landing platforms, all the different way stations, all the different experiences, different light, different vibration, different energetic forms, different formats. There is much to look forward to. Please, this is a time for knowing oneself. Therefore, we say, why clutter yourselves with the nonsensical when the light arrives? Will you be ready to meet it, or will you be too full of clutter?
So I have a question about that, because sometimes I'm feeling that you're talking about one way it's going to happen and then I hear another way. Is this great leveler? Are we going to stay here on Earth to experience this and rejoice it? Or will we be beamed up to the platforms and the way stations to rejoice there? Does that make sense?
Did we not say that the light workers would be lifted in a nanosecond?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the light workers. Okay.
Did we not say that all that are listening to this transmission are the light army?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good. So
and if they are not listening to this transmission, they are listening to other transmissions.
yes.
For all who are part of the plan will be instructed, receiving their guidance from the great halls of justice through their interstellar lineage, their star-seeded lineage, their galaxies, their planets, their brothers and their sisters are assisting them at this time. Many souls who have their light bodies in this 3D before they return are killed in what you term car accidents, or murdered, cancer, drownings, horse accidents, many, many, many different ways to evacuate this 3D body. Those who were not ready to evacuate, for they had work to do, like this one. We brought her back through what you term a near-death experience, and she was able to rise out of the 3D overcoat and see herself in that bed. And so it is that you can rise above and then return to the 3D through your Merkaba, through your alignment with the all that is. There are many that fear death. So we hope that this transmission will settle many.
Thank you. How do we know if our children are light workers? Are there any signs to be aware of for those who have small children or are concerned about them?
How shall we answer this? Many of the children that have come in now are of what we term a higher, meaning lighter, light infused, vibrational, energetic being than the older generation. Let's say that, Alba, your wattage and this one's wattage is growing a little dim.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the brighter bulbs. They hold much light for all those children that are coming in now, right up to their 40s, are volunteers specifically stepping forward with new abilities and a new way of looking at things. And that is why you always get the younger generation to come in and stir things up, change things with their music, with their language, with the way they express themselves through their haircuts, their clothes, their terminology. These young beings may be children. They are ancient ones, specifically chosen for the ascension of Gaia. For this is a celebration in the galaxies. And they have sent their finest as honor students specifically for this mission. For this is a very important mission. This is what's termed a special occasion, for it is a graduation. It is the graduation of Gaia. So it is the honor students that are here to do the honorable work and to honor Gaia. For she has held on her body many, many millions and millions of humans holding adventures. But Alba, there are codes that have been laid on this earth plane, waiting for activation to engage with the energy that is coming towards us. It is what we call fusonic. This one saw a bit of it yesterday.
Was that the blue being?
We would like humanity to look up the term blue energy. Why we chose the blue. The blue is needed at this time. There are many different fractals, shades of blue. There are many blue beings on your earth plane now. This is a very strong color wave, energetic, photonic, fusonic power.
So this blue being was very large, was it not? So do we see these blue beings all around our planet? Is this what they're doing? Are they activating?
This blue light, this is the Christ light.
Oh, okay.
Many think it's golden light, white light. But this blue light is what she saw at the start of the session when he was lifted above the lake. And she was lifted with Christ. For she saw him as she left the heavy body and rose above to look back at Wanaka. It was his light pulling her up to the halls of justice, leading the way. And are you not known as a blue planet?
Yes.
And we have the shield, the energetic shield protecting the earth because of the power of the vibration of the blue in the honeycomb racing with our blue avatar beings, the bird beings, looking after the trapdoors, looking after the portals. And that is why they are blue.
So this being that she saw is one of the bird beings? Or that was different? That was just the energy.
Was visited by Christ, Yeshua.
Okay.
Jesus. That is why this one felt the emotion.
Yes. Okay, I understand. All right. So we've got some information that you've given us. One thing that's very interesting is today is the day, tomorrow is not here, yesterday has gone. Why have you written that for us today?
Humanity lives with a 24-hour time period where they monitor their movements, not so?
Yes.
And so we speak of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And most of your listeners want to know about tomorrow, not so?
Yes.
Do you not have the clairvoyance in great demand on this earth plane?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For everybody wants to know. They want to know their future.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you have many, many earthlings holding on to the past. Yesterday, all the pain, all the sorrow, all the joy, all the experiences that they have already had. So here they are talking about what was past, gone. And in front, you have the tomorrow's group.
Yes.
Who am I going to meet? Where am I going to live? What kind of a job am I going to do? Should I do this? Should I do that? What's best for me? So they divide themselves in the past and in the future. But while they're doing that, what is happening in the present?
Mm-hmm.
For if they are spending their time on memories of the past and hopes for the future, who is attending to the present?
Mm-hmm.
So we say, you have the present because it has been pre-sent, and so it is presented to you as a gift this moment in time. You will never have this specific moment. You've had the past. Your so-called future is not here yet. You have this moment. So what are they doing with the moment? For if they spend this present moment creating, putting into the field, hand it over to us. We know what's in your hearts, but it is free will. Unless you have trust in our guidance, create it, hand it over in this beautiful moment. Should the earthlings do this, their next moments can be nothing but what they have created. So if they are living in turmoil, what will be the next moment? How are they addressing the current moment? So we keep on harping about the clutter. how does one create? If there is a room full of clutter, how do you get a new room? Unless you take all the clutter away, and then you can create the new space. Be it the girl or the boy of your dreams, the perfect job, the gorgeous home, the new garden, the children, by living in the present moment.
Very good, thank you. What's the difference between the Intergalactic Federation of Light and the Galactic Federation of Light? Is there any difference?
But when we term the galactic,
Mm-hmm.
we term the singular, and when it is intergalactic, it is the multiverses instead of the uni, the one verse.
Okay.
So we woke this one up with the words galactic and intergalactic because we wanted to remind the audience today that they are not earthlings. This is not who they are.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they are playing. These are the act, the one act, the two act, the three act play that they are playing on this earth playground. But they are galactic beings from the multiverses. They are all different. They all have different strengths, or they come in their different color waves, their different photonic structures, their different wavelengths, bandwidths. And they are a kaleidoscope of colors. They give themselves names like black, white, red Indians, Eskimos, Chinese, all the different colors, all the different skin tones. But we've told this one before. Why would any human judge another when they were once that themselves? Why would they judge themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are many selves. Do you see themselves, not self?
Yes.
So you choose many different incarnations. What if we said you were an insect creature? Oh, no. Oh, I'm not going to be the insect creature. I just want to be the Nordic, because that is similar to what you are now.
Yes.
Familiarity. But you have been many forms. If we had to show you the forms that you have been, there would no longer be any judgment of another.
Mm-hmm.
For this is what we term a cosmic joke, that humanoids are squabbling in the playground about the different colors that they are, when if they had to really see their family lineage and their ancestry through the multiverses, their imagination cannot begin to envisage the shapes, the forms, the structures. Alba, what if we told you that one head had an eye on the top, an eye in the front, an eye at the back, eyes on either side, pale pink with blue ears?
Hmm.
You say, oh, I choose that form. What if we showed you very, very long ears to the ground, like a basset hound, multicolored rainbow with a very, very, very tall, thin face, lots of polka dots all over, multicolors, and two big round eyes, long ears for hearing. This is a very colorful being. Would you prefer this over the insectoid?
I don't know. I guess it depends where you are,
So,
right? If you want to be looking at your ceiling all the time, or it's an experience.
so we have to then say to you, what is form? You all chose the form that you are currently inhabiting. Does it suit you? What are you doing with your form? Are you honoring the form that you chose yourself? How are you looking after it? Are you nurturing it? Or have you rejected part of self, thinking that self is inadequate by looking at all those that have been presented to you on the blue box as examples of what you should be? It is nothing but a marketing tool. We want you to look at your bodies, these bodies that came with you on your current adventure in order for you to express yourselves. It is time to look after them. But we see many changing, the breasts and the nose and the lips, changing the hair color, contouring of the cheeks. Lots see imperfection where we see nothing but perfection. So why would one need to alter oneself in a different image when all that is gave you your image in its image, your photonic structure, perfectly tuned to this specific incarnation? How much time do you spend unhappy with your image? So we gave this one an example of humanity. And we said, there are those that are like a fish, but they want to be a lion.
Mm-hmm.
Then we said, start exhibiting the characteristics of the lion to be big and brave and strong and powerful. So we wish humanity to be who they are, not a Jill, not an Alba, not a Dolores Cannon, not a Steve Dix, not a Sylvia Peters, none of those others, for they are all taken. You who are listening are unique. There is no one like you in the entire multiverse. You came in your specific alignment from the planets with your star-seeded lineage through matter, dark matter, antimatter, right through the point of creation in a burst of energetic form, creating your bandwidth. Why would you reject yourself and see nothing other than perfection? It is time to lift each other up. And that is why we brought in the funeral. It's time to have fun. These have been dark times. We wish for the energy to change. We wish all that are listening to this transmission to start creating a new, fresh, invigorating. It's time to look at their form and say, I no longer drag you around. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Then you will step into your light vehicle and be aligned with your Merkaba, which will take you wherever you choose. Alba, this is truly going to be a time for enlightenment. This is exciting. This is invigorating, for it is uplifting and it is expansion. Why would one choose to contract oneself through another's words, through the blue boxes programming? This is a time to remove the yoke and step into who you truly are. Everyone is in place. It is a great game. We said it is time for the party to begin. And what gifts will each listener bring to the party? For how can they run and have fun and games if they're dragging themselves around?
Can you talk a little bit right now, because you are talking about the body, for all of those who are ill?
What would you like to know, Alba?
Well, you've talked about us honoring our body, and some of them, well, many of them, are right now under medical care with all sorts of illnesses, diabetes, everything. What would you like to tell those about their bodies? Is there a way for them to rejuvenate that body, change that body with thinking?
Firstly, we would like them to know that they are loved. We are sending them our light. For many of them have lost their way. There's been a disconnect. They too have forgotten who or what they are, who they live for, and why they live. But Alba, this does not cover all who are ill.
Okay.
There are many who are ill, who have taken this on as an experience, not only for themselves, but for those who they have made an agreement with. For the caregivers have learned much through the caring of those who have decided to carry an impairment. And there are others who have taken on an illness in order to exit the body. For there are many ways one exits this planet. But for those who have not chosen the illness as an exit strategy, who can still be helped, it is through the change of the photonic structure, through vibration, color, and thought is nothing other than vibration changing photonic structure.
Mm-hmm.
So there are machines like yours
Mm-hmm.
that are able to go through the human body with a specific oscillation. For did we not many sessions ago show you the example of the metal steel with the sand on top plugged in to the electric output?
Yes.
Turn up the volume and the pattern changes. And so it is with the patterns held within. There will get a mass or a darkness which contracts. So that area no longer flows. So it needs a new energy to come in. Okay, so now we're giving this one the example that most listeners will be able to understand of a cloud. So if you lie on your back and look at the clouds, so some of them look like quite a big cloud, and yet the wind comes along, which is energy, and it hits that cloud, and that mass that was so big slowly starts to dissipate until, where did it go? There is no longer a cloud, and yet the cloud was there. And so it is within the form changes. So do you not on your earth plane have what you term energy healers?
Yes.
And what is an energy healer, Alba?
Well, they use their intention and vibration and light in their mind anyway. Yeah, they bring in, they're the conduit.
So are some of these energy healers not absent healers, but from afar?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So then how is that possible?
Mm-hmm.
Because whether a person is physically next to another person using its energy, or is what you term a distant healer,
Mm-hmm.
it is still going through the bandwidths, the vibrations, for the only reason that they can do that is because there is no separation. All are one. And did we not, in session 352 with this one, tell you about the orange and the segments? We wish many to go back and revisit that, to learn about themselves, their many selves, held together by the pith in the orange, cluster within clusters, realms within realms. So, yes, there are many suffering. Some that are not ready to exit can be helped by the energy healers, by their own thoughts, by decluttering for their minds. If their minds are full of dread, fear, sickness, and ill health, lack of mobility, then it'll be layer upon layer upon layer. And that is why you get a depression when something has been pushed down, depressed. And so many of these are struggling with what you term depression, for they do not see the way out because they are looking at the same situation with the same mindset. And why is it called a mindset? Because the mind has been set. We want the mind to be unlocked, no longer set, because if something is set in place, there is no movement, there's no room for movement. And energy is always moving. Energy is not static. That's why everything is always changing. So, should these beings wish better health, they need to look at the situation with what we term new eyes, fresh eyes, other people's eyes. For when you are emotionally tied up within self, often you do not see the situation for what it is. So the loved ones of these that are set in a particular mind may be able to gently approach them in order to help them to see a different way. It might be something as gentle as a massage or some acupuncture to just introduce them, just to get the body moving again. Even a really warm bath, aqua aerobics, once again, water moving. There are many ways. Vibrational energy is going to be increasing as a healing modality. Alba, we say you are focused in the right direction for you.
Thanks. Thanks about that. I have a question which doesn't pertain to those who are still in body. When this great leveler comes, how is this energy going to affect those that have not left this earth plane, that have passed on to a different dimension, but they're still here. The lost souls, the spirits that haven't gone to the light. Will they be affected?
All will be given the energy equally. It will help them on their way. They will be enlightened. The light will come with them.
Mm-hmm.
Those that return, the DNA structure will have been lifted and changed to a new pattern. Those ones that chose to stay behind, as you call it, it's part of their evolution and part of their plan. They were the perfect piece in this beautiful puzzle, for without them, the Lightworkers wouldn't have had a base to work from. So there is no difference in those that stay behind and those that leave. It is as actors on a stage where some leave and change, and then they come on later in the play in a different form. Some, they say, center left, center right, wherever they go. And so it is with all of humanity. We can't stress this enough. There are many that are listening that want to be acknowledged for the fear that they are holding for their family members. But we said once before, Joy, just own yourself. Yes, you are the mother or the father or the brother or the sister or the daughter in this incarnation. And yet that person who you are so fearful for and judgmental for in a previous incarnation, which is what we call a parallel life, you then were the daughter and they were the mother or the father. So it is a cycle. There is no wrong or right. There are but experiences. It seems that humanity, as part of their emotional field, likes to worry. And let us ask you the question today: how is that working for you?
Thanks. Well, a lot of them don't want to come back. Are those the light workers? Are they tired of their mission?
You know, and that is their choice.
Mm-hmm.
So what will they choose the next time round? We are showing this one now, Jacob's Ladder, with all the steps to enlightenment. And there are those that are what we term competitive or high achievers. They are not interested in the first 3 rungs. They want to get right to the top as quickly as possible. So there are many that choose what we term tricky or difficult incarnations. Often they take or bite off more than they can chew. And they were advised about this before incarnating into this 3D body. And so some of them, it sits heavily within them, the mission becomes too much and they decide to exit. So we hold no judgment in the halls of justice, for we commend their bravery and the willingness to take on courageous pathways. So there is what you term suicide on your earth plane. We have much love for these beings. Many of them chose particularly to exit that way in order to create a chain of events for the beings who they were contracted with. So there are many different ways of being, of living, and of dying, passing over. And it is no one's job on the earth plane to judge another's decision to choose which way they would like to evacuate this body.
Okay.
For may they not perhaps find themselves in a similar position, in a different incarnation, perhaps even in another galaxy, where they thought that what they were creating, then when they stepped into that reality of that creation, was different to what it was when they were a lighter version of themselves. The heavier, denser version suddenly was in what you termed the too much basket. So we wish all to remove judgment from each other. There is a big task ahead, but your earth plane is magical. It is beautiful. There is much serenity. And at this stage of this transmission, Alba, when you spoke to this one about the beach today and about seeing all the turbulence,
Yes.
we would like you now to share that with the audience so that they understand the message.
Wonderful. Well, today I went to the beach. I hadn't gone in a long time because I like to be there by myself. And it was a perfect day. It was a little overcast. It was drizzling, and there was nobody there. Although they had the mask-only ordinance, there was nobody there to enforce it. So I was feeling wonderful. I took some time to meditate and enjoy the very strong breeze. And then I walked into the water, which had so much seaweed. All of the sand was covered in a huge layer of seaweed. And I stood in the sand, having that water rush over my feet. And I looked out and I said, this is actually a perfect analogy to what's going on right now. There's so much turbulence. You could see that the ocean floor has been ripped apart. Everything is coming to the surface. It's being shown. It's littering the beaches with the aftermath of whatever storm was out there. And yet, I'm still enjoying the sun. I'm enjoying the beautiful sea air with the beautiful smells. And I could just stand here and just be still and just enjoy everything and appreciate everything, even though there is turbulence. So it was the perfect analogy to what's happening now. about how you can still enjoy life no matter what's going on out there. And you know that this is just a moment in time, that the sea will clear up again and it'll be beautiful. Everybody will come out once again, but I had that beach all to myself today. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Alba. That is exactly what we wanted to remind everybody of. This beautiful incarnation that they chose, the ups and downs. This one has been meeting many people through the hypnosis sessions that she has been giving. And she has seen the most magnificent souls, the light coming through these beings, through incredible hardships that they have had. And yet they have not allowed those hardships to define them, because they've risen above the situation. And we are hopeful, Alba, that through these 12 sessions and through the book and through the traveling that you will do with this one, that it will help people to rise above. It will help them to have a discourse. The whole reason that we aligned you with this one for this discourse was in order to start a discourse. We want people to start talking to each other, to start talking to their loved ones. There are many that are listening to this that are still hiding in the shadows, for they are still living for others and not themselves. And that's why we say, for who are you living? And why are you living? What do you live for? Do you not live for yourself? Do you not live to honor the all that is? Do you not live to be true to self? For is that not what is called authentic? To be an authentic being. And how many of you are sharing what you feel in your hearts about being a light being with those who you love? What is it that you are afraid of? Is it time to embrace self? How much longer will self reject self in order to appease another? We do not say go out and create a family war, but should someone ask, rather than be a fence sitter, be clear, be concise, and speak your truth, for you do not know whether the other is holding just like you are. And we've said before, what happens to you, to your 3D, when you do not allow who you are to be, because it mutates in your cells, a stagnation occurs. The dis-ease sets in. This is not the way. This is not the truth. this is not the light. It is time to be the light.
Wonderful.
For when the light is on, so many more can see. We say it is time to shine.
Great. So I know this is the last for today, but I'm very curious. We started today's discourse with a meeting as this very strong rock being. What happened at this meeting? What were you talking about? Can you share that?
This is about what is termed accordance.
Mm-hmm.
So we are gaining accordance in the multiverses. We are gathering the galactic and the intergalactic troops.
Mm-hmm.
As you have your light workers and the light army on earth,
Yes.
so too do we have the beings from all the galaxies. So we are seeing who is in accordance, who wishes to remain neutral, for all have free will. We are keeping an eye on the rogue elements. So it is a case of containing what you would term top secret. There would be another level that would be told a slightly different version in case there would be what you term infiltration.
Mm-hmm.
But where we are with the Christ light, it is of such a high vibration that there is no infiltration at that level, for we are able to read somebody, an energy being like a book.
Mm-hmm.
But there are those that fall under the different rays, and so some of them have the ability to read a little less. So therefore, we are sending part of our committee council to the different galaxies. This one, did we not say in session 166 that she's going through all the portals, for she's very social?
Yes.
She's visiting all the galaxies, for she is taking her blue light to the galaxies in order to align with the other blue lights, to set everything in place, to get the alignment sorted, so that we can keep the rogue element at bay. The rogue element is part of the universal plan. The universal plan is unfolding. The rogue element, they too have their place, just like any of us, any being. For did we not speak earlier of judgment and non-judgment?
Yes.
For them, it is also cycles, cyclical.
Hmm.
And they have had their turn, but it is now our turn. But some of them, like you've just had elections with the trumpet in America
Mm.
and Hillary,
Yes.
they had what you term sore losers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not?
Yes, a lot.
So it is with the rogue element,
Okay.
sore losers. They don't want to let somebody else have a turn.
Mm.
And that is why there is a battle for the souls of humanity. But our tipping point is growing and growing and growing. And through the work that you do, Alba, with this one and many others, the light is penetrating through the dark and growing and growing and growing. We feel great excitement. It is as if we are getting ready for what you term a graduation party.
Mm-hmm.
We will see many of you back for the parade, for the celebration. We will be welcoming our family home.
Sounds great. Thank you. Who have we been speaking with today?
Today, you have been speaking with Uriel, Archangel, Light Messenger. For this transmission will spread much light and hope.
Well, thank you. And what do we call this transmission today?
Light workers unite.
Sounds good. Sounds like a campaign. Fantastic.
Well, on the political campaign, we are keeping the theme.
Thank you for that. Anything else, or are we complete for today?
Alba, we would like to thank you and all your listeners for the 12 sessions. We know that this has been a large mission. This one is most relieved that it is over. She wants the borders to open. She cannot wait to meet and greet all the other light workers in her light army. With you by her side, we see much fun and joyful times ahead. We thank you and we thank the listeners.
Thank you very much for that thing. So it was great. It was great. So now that you've done so many of them, what is your way of channeling now? Are you there listening? Are you on the side? Are you gone? Are you totally there?
It's like a telepathic transfer. I suppose that's what I see the picture. So I always see things like in movie clips.
Okay.
So I see the Great Hall. I see the way stations. I see the spaceships, the everybody being lifted. I saw the beings. I saw the blue light. I saw the light coming in like rays coming in towards the earth. It's when we speak about the ill people, I can see them all in their homes, all with their different disabilities or illnesses. So it's like watching a movie.
Mm.
That's what it's like. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. So as they speak, as if I'm listening, it's like Jill's standing behind me, listening. So when I get the session back, it's really like I'm listening to it for the first time.
That's great. So do you have anything to tell the viewers out there who are watching?
Yes, I suppose I have. So the thing that I can feel that seems to be coming from most of you is you all want to make a difference. You, as a human being, we have to have a purpose to get out of bed in the morning, and we like to help, we like to do things because it makes us feel good. So firstly, get out of bed and look after yourself. Look after this 3D, they said, to make it healthy, to make it fluid and light, so that you can have a good fun time here, so that you don't drag yourself around. You know, I've been sitting for the last 12 weeks, and it's been longer actually because we don't do it every single week. And I've been doing so much typing and sitting and no walking that my lower back is actually aching at the moment. That's my body saying to me, you need to move. You're an energy being. You know, hey, Alb, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And the other thing that has come through all these sessions is about the fear of the unknown. But Alba and I spoke about that today, just this morning, and we said, listen, all of us are going to die. None of us know when we're going to die, but we are going to die. My husband always says there's two things you can be sure of. You're going to pay tax and you're going to die. We don't know whether we're going to die with the so-called event, or whether a car is going to kill us tomorrow, or whether we're going to have cancer. And I said to my husband, I will die when I'm done, which means whatever it is that I've come here to do, if I have finished my mission, then I'm done. So,
Yep.
You know what, guys? Just go and love the people you love yourself. As Alba said, you know, yes, there was the turmoil of the ocean, but the sun was out, everything else was beautiful. So Alba, go for it. You tell them what you think about it all.
Yeah. It's been amazing, and it's been very comprehensive, I think. They've repeated over and over again, like good teachers are, because they have repeated things over and over again that need to really hit home with us. And you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid. And don't be thinking about, you know, when this is going to happen or how it's going to happen. Just be happy now. That's it. Just be happy now, and be the eye of the storm. Be the one who's calm. Be the one that's happy. Be the one that people enjoy seeing, because you're just all together. You know, that's really the most important thing. We're here as representatives of the light, and we got to shine. That's it. So don't be down. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Okay. Just
no. They just put that song in my mind as you said that, and it says, and I can't sing, so I won't sing it. Don't be thinking about tomorrow.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know the rest of the words.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what they
That's
say.
it.
Don't be
That's it.
tomorrow.
That's right. So I want to thank all of you for having watched this with us. It's been a fantastic journey, having these premieres and having all your energy together. It's been a great time. So I want to thank you, Jill. It's been fabulous. You know, I'm always reluctant to do anything new because I'm pretty boring that way. But you yanked me in and made me do this, and it's been a pleasure. So thank you for that. I've grown quite a bit
from this experience. So, yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching until the next time. Okay. Bye-bye.